What's up, everybody? Welcome to Tales from Flipside, episode 302. The CEO is away celebrating, so we're going to hold down the fort and do a market report, talk about some comic news, including Rob Liefeld retiring from Deadpool, he says. So let's kick it off. Well, that worked well. So we're live. We'll go with it.
Take 2, 3.
God, I hate this thing. I think I got to get a new computer here.
It's all good, man.
No, that's cool.
Cannot do video anymore, apparently. What are you going to do? I have inherited Nico's curse.
At least you have better internet than him, right?
I got the internet. I think the computer has just hit its limit, you know?
Yeah.
All right. I guess we talk about Rob put out let's call it a self-promoting retirement message that he is quitting Deadpool after this one last story that's coming out this summer.
Oh, his like batter blood.
Yeah. So after 34 years, he's doing one more story, but he wants to call it his retirement. And do we believe he'll never come back?
Well, I mean, it could be to pump up the numbers for the story, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think he's retiring from comics.
Nope. He just said Deadpool. This is
just
his last Deadpool story.
So we'll just see a bunch of Snake Eyes stories coming out again from him. So
and pouches.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, what else has he been doing these days?
That's a valid question.
Covers.
Yeah, the occasional shitty cover.
Yeah, but usually it's on Deadpool.
Well, he did that. He did that Captain America big chested cover.
Well, that was 20 years ago, 30 years ago.
He did it again for the new Captain America.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and then he also did that. Everybody lost their shit for like a week over Major X or whatever that was called.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was.
That
felt like 30 years ago.
And then he could always do cable comics again.
Okay, true. He left that door open.
Yeah.
Maybe he's gonna work on Shatterstar.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just is. It feels like he made a big announcement, but it's not really a big announcement. Even reading it, it's kind of like, okay. I'll believe it when I see it. There was some in an interview for Dune 2, Josh Brolin let it slip that maybe there's a chance for Thanos to return to Marvel in the MCU. Wasn't much said, just a little soundbite that you never know.
Would that be like through Eternals and that?
Man, I don't know. I would think it would be very hard to tell another story weaving it back. It would be very complicated and convoluted. Though,
I mean, I guess my question is if they. I mean, it has been made very clear that they want to do a soft, I guess, reboot of the entire MCU at the end of this saga. Does that change? Because I could easily see them, and Josh Brolin he ain't that big of a star. I mean, I'm not trying to shit on the dude. I'm just legitimately saying, like, he's not somebody that you're like, oh man, like you gotta get in line. Like, grab a ticket, get in line, because Josh Brolin's dance card is very full. It's like, other than this Marvel stuff and like the occasional movie, I mean, he's got this whole workout thing, gym wear stuff that he was doing for a while, but he's not super busy, so he could easily turn into a character, like just a go-to character in the universe. Post redo of the entire MCU, like he could be a character that is just like a villain that's like there, but isn't restored back to his former glory, like from a strength perspective.
Yeah, he's pre having the gauntlet normal villain, or post having the gauntlet. Like, he's been many different kind of strengths over the years.
Yeah,
and he's got lots of stories. They all kind of strike me as pretty cosmic in the same general idea, but there's definitely some options
just
during
gonna
or
be-
after Secret Wars.
Yeah,
It's
because I
just
mean,
gonna
what
be
was it?
flashbacks of him. That's all it's gonna be. Just nothing
Well-
but pure flashbacks, and that's what he meant. So he's like, I'm still getting residual checks, but you'll never see anything more.
I mean, possibly, but I mean, I could see them like. The question is do we want that, and does it cheapen the character to have him go from being like Thanos to there's Thanos, the you pull him out the closet when you need to change things up a bit and have him like basically have him become like a Loki type figure, and I don't mean like him becoming a good guy, but I mean like he goes from being like an event character to it's whenever you need something like spiced up a little bit, you go grab Thanos and he's causing some trouble or doing some shit that interacts with like random space characters.
So he's basically
like-
Kingpin.
Yeah, like a recurring villain that
Yeah, he becomes a recurring villain because like I mean honestly I'd say that from a business perspective, D'Onofrio and Brolin are kind of at the same level, like stardom wise at this point. Like neither of them stays super busy, so them being able to show up in multiple things over the course of like a year, or 2 things in a year every year isn't that big of a deal. It wouldn't cost you a whole hell of a lot.
Yeah, it would definitely have to be after Secret Wars, or they would kind of kill the whole thing of killing Thanos, though.
Well, yeah, no, it absolutely would be all bets are off post Secret Wars because
It could even be recast.
Yeah.
As a younger version or a, whatever.
Well, and then somebody brought up in the comments, wasn't he Deadpool? Yeah, so there's still a possibility he makes an appearance in Deadpool 3, but we'll be discussing Deadpool 3 a little later in the show. So
that'd be confusing. As
What?
Cable and Deadpool.
make it
I mean-
fully
Cable and
confusing
Thanos?
as possible.
Nah, they've done it before.
I know.
Yeah.
They've done it quite a bit when you stop and think about it, because at this point, well, we haven't seen Blade, but we've heard his voice. So you've got Mahershala Ali playing Blade and what was it, Cottonmouth?
Yeah.
You have also from Daredevil or from Luke Cage, what's her face? Black actress. I'm blanking on her name, but she was the kid's mom who died in the opening sequence of Civil War, and then she was also the villainess in Luke Cage. Gemma Chan was Minerva and now is Cersei. So like the double dipping thing has been kind of a thing in Marvel, and now there's talk that Mads Mikkelsen will be coming back and playing a different role potentially. That he's in talks to come back and play a different character.
Well, that's good because he was kind of wasted.
I mean, there's a lot of people that have been wasted. I mean, Vera Farmiga, I'd honestly say, was completely wasted as a nothingness role in Hawkeye.
Yeah.
So
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale also. I mean, they could have done so much more with Gordon God Butcher, and what we got was very depressing. So again, they have a bad habit of doing that one and done thing with their villains with really great acting. I mean, if we take it back to the very beginning, I just had somebody who left me, but Bridges, Bo Bridges.
Yeah.
Bo Bridges, one and done. I mean, Oscar winning actor, one and done. I mean, Robert Redford, one and done. So
Yeah. Well. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there's just so many that they could have done better stuff with.
yeah,
I mean,
we'll see how it plays.
truth. Let's see. Cobra Kai season 6 is in production. Lots of promo for that right now.
Nice.
They've been doing, lots of the stuff to tell the story. I saw an article that what's the guy that played Stingray, since he's won all the awards, is like, you need to check him out in Cobra Kai.
Who is it?
The one that rapped when he won the Oscar. I can't think of his damn name. It was for Blackbird. Is what he won for.
Season 6 sounds really cool though. Like I'm stoked about that. I'll probably sign up for Netflix for that again.
Just to stream that.
Yeah,
They usually do it.
Yeah,
They usually do it as an all release at once anyway. So
exactly. It's worth it
Yeah.
for that month or whatever.
you pay a month, 2 months, cover all
Catch
the
up.
stuff you have.
Catch up on everything I hadn't seen yet to that point,
Yeah.
and then it's like kind of like sign out again.
I'm too lazy to do it. I don't get to, well, I don't know. You know
Well-
how it is. I've got one membership, somebody else has another, and da 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 da.
Yeah, I hadn't paid for it for 3+ years.
Though I did read that Disney Plus is going to do a similar crackdown.
See, I ended my Disney Plus subscription. I didn't see the point of it, and then like I had finished watching Echo, and then I was like kind of like, well, I can just hold out until March until they figure out that whole merger thing that they're gonna either end the Disney Plus app or just send it over to Hulu, or Hulu's doing whatever. Like I don't really
Yeah.
care. I'll just make it that extension pay thing or whatever.
Well, I think I have so many memberships. Some of them are free, and some are woven into things. And it's like I don't even know what's what. I do know Disney Plus I have, but I think my nieces and nephew use it. My niece and nephew, and it's like, well, I don't want to just cut it off without saying something. So we'll just see if they cut it off and can't use it. Then I probably won't bother with Disney Plus because it's just not.
Yeah,
There's not enough content coming quick enough.
Right.
No, I mean, we're getting X-Men 97, but again, you can always wait and just binge watch that. I mean, X-Men 97 is successful. We'll get Spider-Man. They'll bring back Spider-Man as well. So, but again, that won't be enough. I don't know. I heard Percy Jackson was good, but again, that's not my cup of tea. So
yeah, Disney Plus I could definitely move to like a once every 4 month type thing.
Yeah, I mean, I really wanted to support it, but it just has not been what I thought it was going to be. There were a lot of promises that were not delivered on.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Netflix is just the baseline. Give me cheap crap to watch. I watched a stupid John Cena movie this weekend that I swear to God he must have been finishing off his WWE first movie deal to do the freelance. I think it was called Freelance. It was him and Christian Bale from 2023, and I'm like, are we sure this came out last year and not 10 years ago?
I mean, he's in Argyle, he's in Barbie. I mean, like Cena's just like, you cut the check and I will be there on time and ready to go. So,
but usually his production value is slightly higher. This one just felt a little too low.
Nah, man. Did you see? I mean, like a year, like right before that, he did for either Hulu or Netflix, Vacation Friends, that movie absolutely is that type of movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. You're right. He keeps busy.
Yeah, I mean, he is one of those people where it's like he shows up, he does his job, he's agreeable, everybody likes him on set, and he's like, as long as the check clears, I'm gonna do my job. So you got to respect the journeyman like that, where it's just like, I mean, he came from the wrestling world. It's just like, nah, man, I'm gonna do my job. I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna be on time. I'm gonna be ready to go. I'm gonna do what I need to do. I'm gonna be the most agreeable person around, and then I'm gonna leave.
And you know what you're gonna get from me.
Yeah, consistency. There's something to be said about it. I mean, the Morgan Freemans and the Samuel Jackson of the world are just like, I am a working actor. If you pay me, I will show up and I will say the lines. So,
Tommy Lee Jones in the 1980s and 90s.
Yeah, as simple as that.
Yeah.
Somebody just asked a question in the chat. Do I go to conventions in Atlanta? I mean, not really. I know this coming weekend we've got the Atlanta Comic Book Convention, but that seems very heavy on signatures and meeting celebrities, kind of like the Washington Sun Con and things like that, where it's like
I was thinking the Arizona.
Yeah, like also like that. And I'm not a big celebrity signature guy. I mean, it's cool to bump into those folks like out in the streets and stuff like that, but I'm typically not going to seek them out. So probably not. Also, I'm really kind of focusing my attention on, I'm still debating Heroes, but basically Heroes Con, San Diego, and WonderCon are my big three. I might shoehorn in a Chicago this year. I may do a New York. But yeah, I mean, those are my big three, and then we'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah, I mean, the celebrity thing is getting out of control. Like, it's always been crazy, but I just keep looking at all these conventions, and even the little ones are having like these obscure people show up, and the big ones are having, a lot more.
Well,
A lot more people.
I was at a small convention this past weekend, and I was like, "Why am I going to this?" And then my brother told me about it, and it was because of Scott Steinberg, the wrestler.
Scott Steiner.
Scott Steiner.
Steiner, yeah. So he was there.
Damn! I wish you would have told me.
Big Papa
Ozzy
Pump,
fucking
the Steiner
loves him.
recliner.
Oh, my bad. I should have told you.
I didn't know.
Yeah, so that's why he went to the convention to like, get an autograph and take his picture with him or whatever. And I was like, kind of like, all right, cool, whatever. So he's like, it's a small con. I was like, okay, it's a comic convention. At least there be some comic booths, and that's where I went to go like wheel and deal. But then everything I was carrying in my bag was more impressive than their walls. So I was just like, kind of like, it's gonna be slim pickings from here. But I'll show him pickups.
My son keeps making me take him to sneaker shows, and I'm like, it's so painful because you go and I'm used to like boxes to dig through and stuff to do. And it's like sneakers, even if there's 100 boxes on the table, you can see them all in 2 minutes.
You have to show the shoe,
Yeah. But I mean, like, you see them all. Okay,
right.
I saw everything. 1 lap, I'm done.
Yeah. As a sneakerhead, I have personally never done a sneaker con. I mean, I've thought about it, but I'm just like, no, because I don't want to pay. I don't want to pay aftermarket prices for.
No, don't do it.
I'm just not. I haven't done that in years, and I refuse to do it at this point. The dollar's not worth enough.
He likes to wheel and deal and bring stuff to trade and thinks he's a bigwig, so I just let him do it.
I mean, more power to him. I mean,
yeah. But yeah,
it's a fun hobby to
learn.
Absolutely.
I don't hate on the hobby. It is not a fun con or fun event. Just because it's like one table, there's 50, 60 shoes, and half of them aren't your size. Okay, 3/4 aren't your size.
Yeah, true story.
I mean, that's kind of the same with card shows, right? You could literally take a lap around the entire convention and then have seen everything. I mean, but you can still dig through boxes. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But it's always interesting because I've been going to more card shows recently to see how many comic booths end up there, and you'd be quite surprised. There's at least one or two. But I mean, most of the time it's either like golden age, like crazy stuff, just to be like within that same money of the room, or it's just like, I found this in a storage locker and I'm selling it at this con.
Yeah. Well, those are probably the ones that are more fun, is God knows what you're going to find.
They're fun to dig through, but then a lot of times you're just like, kind of like, but
you feel dirty and wasted and used.
Yeah, like pretty much.
Let's see. So the other one before the movie one was Ultimate Black Panther has sold out first printing and going to second printing already.
It's following that Ultimate Spider-Man 1 hype.
I mean, people really.
So what was all the hype on Ultimate Spider-Man 1?
Because it's
a new variation of Peter Parker, and I guess it's like it's sparking that interest of like people reading again, right?
It's the Hickman scenario. It's people realizing that, that, I mean, he's just been kind of consistently knocking out the park, and there's talks that this could be his magnum opus, and it could be one of those type of like scenarios where, a celebrated writer finally gets a chance to do a character that, he had, like, of the big ones. Like, he's done X-Men, he's done Fantastic Four, he's done the Avengers, he's never done Spider-Man per se, and so this is that scenario. And so I think it's a little bit of a jolt to the arm of the collector's market, being like, oh, people are reading this, like, people, and are excited to see what comes out of it. I mean, I hope that it's another, Bendis Ultimate Spider-Man scenario again. I hope it's not, Marvel 2, but who knows how this will play out. But I mean, I'm excited to see it. It's good for the hobby. People are reading again. I mean, I need to drag my ass out and go grab a second or third printing of Ultimate Spider-Man 1, because I've heard good things. So
here's the secret: buy the 1 in 25. It's cheaper than buying any of the other covers.
Huh. Yeah, true.
Just saying, I bought it under ratio like the week it was like super hot, and I was like kind of like honestly like this might be the best way to read it.
Put away and move it behind. I haven't read it yet. I don't know. I may have to go out and check it out. I mean, a fresh start is always cool. How many titles being relaunched under this banner?
The Ultimate, you have Black Panther, you have Spider-Man, and then there's an X-Men coming up this summer, I think.
It's interesting that Black Panther was one of them, huh?
The X-Men one is going to be interesting as well because I believe that's going to be written by Momoko.
Oh. I'm less enthusiastic, but okay.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. She's a very nice person, but I've never.
Was she done a lot of writing?
She did that Demon Days for X-Men. But I think she should have just kept up with that instead of like getting tossed the
a whole new universe is a bold move. Like, to be the first writer on.
Well, let me double check to make sure I'm misspeaking.
No, I think you're right. I mean, I'm seeing her. Let's see, what does it say for? Yeah, written by, or at least one is written by her. Okay. Art and cover by. She's doing it all, and that is.
Oh, that's tough.
That is a lot. Like
that's a lot of pressure, right?
How are you going to keep up?
I mean, yeah, that's dangerous territory to write and draw.
Well, and then also like you're leading off with like Spider-Man that hit off really well. I'm assuming Black Panther is going to do just as well if it's selling out.
Who's doing Black Panther?
Black Panther is Brian Hill with art and cover by Stefano Caselli. Okay.
So I think it's really interesting that they went with Momoko for Ultimate X-Men. I mean, honestly, I think she could have just stayed under the banner of the Demon Days and like had her own her own piece of the pie, and then let someone else like do Ultimate X-Men 1. But this was probably made, decisions that were made like probably like a year ago or something like that, or if not more.
Well, yeah, I mean that's such an intense overtaking to do a new start, because even the original Ultimate X-Men wasn't a fantastic run.
Right, but I'm just saying compared to the other titles right now, with the Ultimate banner, I'm assuming they're going to do decent.
I mean, I'm reading this right now, and this feels. I mean, it is very much so up her alley, but I do wonder how successful this will really be, because it's basically taking place in Japan. It looks like it's focused around armor. I just don't know how well it's going to hit.
See, if you told me that description without telling me it was Ultimate X-Men, I would have told you that was a Demon Days story.
I mean, no, yeah, it sounds just like a Demon Days story, but
except it's probably brought up to modern time. Is what I'm under my assumption.
Basically, yes, it is basically Demon Days but modern times. Heavy Japanese influence. I don't know how. I mean, again, as somebody who has historically been a Japan file, even I'm just like, I don't know about this. Like, I don't know if this is going to be it or not, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Tim, you probably bought someone's copy that didn't pick it up from their pool box. If you found it at cover price this week.
Good luck to you on that one, or good job on that.
They had. I mean, that was a great pickup.
Yeah. Oh, there's also going to be an Ultimate Universe #1 as well. So your Ultimates,
everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember the Ultimate Spider-Man. I don't remember like any of the rest of it.
Do you really need to though?
I don't know. I guess not.
What, from the original run?
Yeah. I didn't read a lot of it, but I remember bits and pieces and testing it.
Ultimate Fantastic Four was really good.
Oh yeah, because it introduces Marvel Zombies in that, and then you also have, like some of the first few issues of Ultimate X-Men took off for a little bit based on, I don't remember what spec. It was like some first appearance.
Yeah,
probably Apocalypse.
Well, let's hope Spider-Man does well, because like when you can redo a Spider-Man without all the freaking baggage, there's potential to be interesting.
It from what I read the first issue, and like I like the take that they're giving it, and then just the way the story is set up, like it's a good read. It's a good refresher.
I mean, I haven't read it, but I listened. I mean, what got me interested in reading it was one of the podcasts I listened to that normally doesn't do like true comic book heavy stuff. Did a little sidebar of stuff you should be reading, and they did a quick, semi spoilery breakdown of one, and I was like, okay, that actually. I mean, Uncle Ben's alive. Like Aunt May died, Uncle Ben's alive, and that in itself is just like
a different twist.
And then Uncle Ben works with Joan Jameson.
Yeah, works for Jameson.
Giving us some twists and turns.
Yeah, so he's doing something different.
It's a good setup, I would say. I'm interested to see what this first story arc's like.
All right.
That's what I'm giving it to. So like I guess like 5 issues, right?
Yeah, that's I don't know if I can wait that long. I'd like to wait for the trade, but that might be a long wait.
Yeah.
So, all right. I'm gonna switch screens here quick, maybe, if my computer wants to work. Maybe not. Cool. Oh, never mind. I know what I'm doing.
Are you sure you've done a podcast before?
I get lazy and I let Dino do everything, and it just happens.
Yeah. No, I felt like that whenever I took my break from here and then went over to Brian's channel. I was all hyped, ready to get back into action, and then I just kind of put the back pedals on. So
yeah, it's just one of those like, God damn it. And I had everything set up.
But then I get questions every so often from people that are like first time hosting or haven't hosted in a while.
Well, my problem is I'm like a rookie again because I freaking no, that's not what I want. Jesus Christ, amateur hour.
Where you see all of Z's emails, like all his eBay alerts.
It's amateur fucking hour here. God damn it. It doesn't help that it's working slow on the side. Oh, fuck you. You piece of shit.
Oh, are you trying to get into your Google Slides?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So open your Chrome again.
Yeah.
I can show you.
I got it.
I can show you. Just hit
the I'm there now, finally. I had it set up. I really did, and then it fell asleep on me.
All good.
This is why Dino's around.
This is why he's the CEO.
Yeah, I'm just the on-air talent. Okay. All right. Jesus Christ. I apologize to all our viewers for my incompetence. Which continues. Okay. Well, the last bit of news was Feige coming out with the Deadpool Wolverine hat for the
Saturn Awards.
The Saturn Awards, yeah. So that is apparently the logo. We are ready to go. We are full promotion mode, right? Were you saying we think we're going to see Super Bowl ad?
Yeah, the rumor is we're getting an ad Super Bowl Sunday for a couple of the things that are supposed to drop this year, and that being one of them.
When's?
I can't wait to buy my new era hat.
Do we? Yes. That reminds me of a hat from the 90s. Well, so I mean, the question is the trailer going to show us anything we haven't seen?
Oh, we've seen everything. Like, we've seen everything. So no, I mean, not at all. But it's still.
It's gonna be nice to see the pieces of the puzzle, right?
Do you almost think it's going to be Hugh Jackman and him Reynolds going, we're going to show you a trailer, but you've seen it all, so we're just going to banter for 5 minutes?
It could be like that, like they're
I hope not.
like what when they were doing competing gin commercials or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And then they were trying each other's gin, and then like what Reynolds just like poured over Hugh Jackman's or whatever.
Yeah.
And then left the screen.
Well, I mean, that's the thing is like, I don't know that there's probably a lot we haven't seen. They could do a lot of stuff, but there will be no spoilers at that point. We have seen all the spoilers.
I mean, well, we've heard rumors. Like, there's like we still haven't seen any footage around. And again, spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't been paying attention to the news for the last like year, but we haven't seen any footage of Gambit. But that has been mentioned that Channing Tatum suited up for it. Trying to think of who else.
I just don't think they can afford to show us any of those.
Oh,
I think that they could show us the stuff we've seen in a little more context and show us some moving images. But can you imagine they're going to give us more?
I mean, they could tease us with like a glimpse or a back shot or something of like maybe like they could give us a glimpse. And what I'm picturing and what would be whether or not, I mean, if they do it now versus saving it for Secret Wars, is do like a weird like Secret Wars 8 type of cover scenario. So the two sides kind of going at each other with a character centralized. I don't know why it just popped in my head, but that would make for a cool scenario of in the trailer of like you freeze frame it and you might be able to pick out who all you see in the in the dust cloud, fighting each other, type of scenario. Who knows? But I still think they could give you some glimpses of some stuff where it's like you've got, oh shit, okay, cool, and then you're excited to see it, like how that plays out.
Could be like
it's gonna be like Deadpool, just be super meta. It's just gonna be a super meta commercial. No one's gonna understand it until after you see the movie.
Well, it could be like Guardians, where like they give you previews, but it's truly like the first 2 minutes of the movie cut apart, and then everything else is new.
Yeah.
I feel like Deadpool 2 did a lot of that. Like they didn't show us much, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait, now we're in the movie.
Yeah. I mean, there's things that you could do where you still like people see stuff and know what it is a reference to without being no full giveaway. I mean, you could easily, because I mean, so many of the characters, that would be shown or that exist in Marvel have such iconic, like a back shot of them, or even just a hand in frame. There's countless characters that have hell, case in point, that old McFarlane image where he's got like the hands of like every single character behind the gate down in hell or in heaven or wherever that was supposed to be in that one issue. And the game was like, can you identify whose hand is each one of those? You could easily do something like that with X-23, with Gambit, with Dawkins, just go through the list of characters that have like iconic gloves / hand / powers that emanate in a way that if you just showed their hand in a clip, would set
you would instantly know who it was.
Yeah, but it sets the internet on fire. Because again, Dawkins with his claw that comes out of the front.
The third claw.
Yeah, whatever. Like his third claw. Like if you saw somebody who started out with 2 claws, you're like, oh, I mean, hell, again, not to write the trailer, but if you had a scenario where somebody shows their hand and you see 2 claws, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, that's Laura Kinney, and then the third one pops and it comes out the front, and you're just like, holy shit, Dawkins, and then they cut to black. And they did nothing but show you like a bunch of clips like that of characters. You see the Thing's hand from the Fantastic Four movie, circa Jessica Alba. I mean, again, there's so many type of scenarios that you could still play with that sort of thing, where you're still getting the gratification of being like, I know who that is, but at the same time, I'm excited to see who it is or how it plays out. Because again, they could easily show those type of characters.
Some glitter roller skates in the corner.
Yeah, I mean, again, there's so many ways to
with a Taylor Swift song playing in the background.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So again, I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm still excited for this because even though there's been plenty of stuff that has leaked, there's still so much more to this movie that have no idea. Because I mean, think about all the Fox movies that pre-existed the Marvel Cinematic Universe. All of those characters are fair game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be fun. I mean, I think the movie's going to be fun. I don't know about the trailer. There's so many ways they can go. We should probably just trust Ryan Reynolds. He has his fingers in it, and he is.
It's going to be a reaction video of Ryan Reynolds,
one of the most savvy
watching
social media people today.
No,
yeah.
I mean,
if that third claw thing happens, I'm selling my third claw variant.
It's out the door.
It's out the door. 9.6. Signature series labeled, signed by Casada. Out the door.
You're just saying if somebody needs it, hit you up after the trailer.
Yeah, after the trailer.
I mean, there's been talks of docking work. I mean, there's been people I know who have been hardcore specking on docking for years, like just stockpiling third claw variants. And again, what would be a perfect scenario to have, docking, presented like that, even if you don't use them anymore going forward, just to have that scene where it's like an alternate universe where Wolverine had a son and it's docking. There you go.
Or they just show all of his kids in a portal or whatever they're using.
Yeah. I mean, somebody in the comments mentioned Omega Red and his tentacles. Again, there's a way to do that and have it be like a oh shit moment and then cut to black in a way that it can be done with countless characters.
Oh yeah.
So
it depends how much Feige here wants to let loose.
Yeah. But
at this point, I mean, you've just given up that this whole thing's a meta experiment and let him kind of do something. All right. Let's start the market report, then we can hit some pickups, and anybody's welcome to add anything else after that. This book surprised me in a 9.6, still selling strong. Some of Campbell's best work. One of the few non-female covers that people gravitate towards. I was just shocked for a 9.6 to have this much value. Tells you how much fan base there is.
I mean, it's also a ghost. It is legitimately a ghost of a book.
Oh, it is. It's a tough one. I mean, even when years ago it was tough. So, and I'm sure quite a few of them are just sitting in collections because Campbell. A lot of them are just collectors.
Yeah, Campbell fanboys don't typically sell their stuff. So
I mean, they bought one for $1,000 and it's sitting in a box and not going anywhere ever again, or sitting in a frame.
Yeah, because I mean, you got this guy, Wolverine Deadpool, the Wolverine Deadpool cover. Like he's got a couple of those. Like back in the day when he was your 1 in 25, 1 in 50 guy. That are even in a 9.0 are worth damn good money.
Doctor 9.6.
Well, Doctor. But I mean, it is probably interesting with his fan base that once it goes away, it's less likely to come back to market.
Oh yeah, have you seen Red Hood's collection of J. Scott Campbell books?
No,
dude, he has like 5 long boxes of just J. Scott Campbell. If that tells you anything,
that's he's got an affection there.
Yeah.
An affliction.
Yeah, an affliction.
All right, this is a completely random book, and probably there's not enough people watching to give a shit, but I didn't really realize this is one of the Wheaties books. It's a fun stuff, no number. I had only, I guess, mentally been aware of the Captain Marvel Wiz one, and there's a Flash book. You see the 4 tape marks at the edges. That's where they were taped to the box. That's an extremely high grade of one of these. I guess I just didn't know there were other books sent out this way because the 2 superhero ones are the only one I focused on. So my learning of the day. And if anybody else cares, I appreciate it.
It's cool history.
Yeah, it's just one of those things.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy that it's on a Wheaties box before they went to sports heroes. They were in comics.
Yeah.
Here's the Oh God, you could be Ho's book of the week. I mean, we've probably talked about it before, but a 9.4. Anybody want to guess what the record price for a 9.4 was?
Had to be knocking on 10 grand.
$8,000.
19.5.
19.5. Wow.
19.5.
Like 19,500?
1,500.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. In 2000, I think it was 2021. I think. I didn't write the date for some reason, but yeah, almost 20K, and you're down freaking 80%.
Oh yeah, I mean, makes sense. I definitely sold a 9.0 for 5Gs, like the second they announced that Moon Knight was happening. So
yeah, well, I remember I sold. Oh, I don't know. I sold too early, but man, that's a tough hit. I guess if you're a Moon Knight fan, at least you've got a chance to upgrade at this point.
oh yeah, absolutely.
And that honestly isn't that unattractive on a price, honestly, of that book, because it's still one of the tougher books out there. Another high grade book popped up, Batman 251 and 9.4. I didn't get sales stats on it. I was a little running late trying to work tech that I suck at.
That definitely feels down for it.
Little bit, I think. I have more data in my head about the 227 than the 251, but I think that's a good price for it. I mean, this is an iconic cover that, probably always be a top 5 Joker cover. I don't know that you would argue me any different.
Here, let me get a chance to search for it real fast and see what the high watermark is for that guy.
I bet it's in the high 3s, low 4s.
I feel like definitely, it would have been like a 36 to $4,000 book at one point. But let's see, 251, and a 9.4. What? That website's running slow today.
Yeah, well, welcome to my world.
All right, so in a 9.4, the high watermark. That seems not right. Yeah, no, 3,600. Yeah, I called it.
Nice work.
Yep.
Okay.
Nice.
So
good work on that. This was just one. Paul loved this book. I see it every once in a while. The Clayton Crane Underworld homage. One of the cooler homage covers out there.
That seems low.
I think a lot of these kind of things have. It's not to the floor low, but it's definitely down. I think it was in the 4s and 5s.
I feel like a lot of artists who were like had these like followings have slipped off greatly. Like, and
I'm not sure this was for Clayton Crane though. I think it was just this this homage poster run had a lot of fame.
No, absolutely. But I think but it just got me thinking about the fact that like, who is that person right now, or those people who are like, they drop a cover and people are losing their mind. Does anybody like that exist currently?
I think it's too oversaturated with all the store variants and everything happens. Like, if you're a hot artist, you're going to be doing a shit ton of covers right away. You don't have to grind like you used to. And I got 1 in 25, or I got a second.
I would think of recently, probably like what Sozamaika, maybe Lobos. Like he'll have they'll have incentive covers that pop.
Yeah, because I feel like again, I think to John's point though, that Sosa got maybe a little bit oversaturated there, very early on. Because like she went from doing like smaller imprints to all of a sudden like doing like those DC covers.
Yeah,
and then people kind of stopped caring. I mean, like at least Peach had she had about a good year or so before the market was just like, okay, now she's everywhere.
Yeah.
And then again, you go back to a little bit of time before the pandemic, and there's people who had years of a run. Like you had the Art Germs, the J. Scott Campbells, the Adam Hughes. Like there's people who like had a chokehold on covers for a while, and now it seems like you're doing good to be popular for 6 months.
Well,
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
and I don't
Well-
know. I don't know what the right answer is if you're an artist. Like, do you
'Cause
not
that-
exploit that heat, or do you think, well, I'm going to gamble on the long run that I, just do a
have a
couple
long
quality
career.
covers?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't think is. I mean, I think there's a delicate balance to that, right? That you can definitely become oversaturated of the same covers you do, like all the time, or you can, I guess start at one place and then build on that over the years.
Yeah,
But if you're a
go ahead.
semi-starving artist and all of a sudden you got 10, online stores going, I'll give you $5,000, $10,000, whatever that number is for a cover. Are you going to turn it down? I don't know.
No.
not.
I mean,
Not
it's
at
just
all.
it's just I think it's a combination of things where it's like, again, you have these artists who are definitely trying to, go from being a starving artist to being the new hotness. Because again, I mean, like I've looked back at, Souza Micah and Rose, like in particular both Souza Micah and Rose Besh, is that like, I mean, they were doing they were just like doing little piddly stuff just a couple years ago of like just trying to get their art out there, drawing stuff and posting on Instagram. And then the right person saw it, they blew up. They had about a good 6 month run or so, and then they cooled off. And I mean, I think they just came up during a time period, like to John's point of the store variants. Like it wasn't like that when those formative artists of like the 90s and the early 2000s were doing their thing, because you really were doing like maybe like most people could, like there wasn't like Joe Blow comics.com wasn't doing a store variant. Like
Right.
the requirements to be able to even do one of those were super low. So you're talking conventions and maybe like a shop that really had a strong following for the most part to get a Marvel or a DC store variant type scenario. But yeah, the market got saturated. And so there's 100 new opportunities for your artwork to get out there. I mean, hell, even re-releasing your classics, like, oh, I just got my hands on the original artwork from this cover, and we just did a version of it and re-released it again. It's just, I don't know. I feel like it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't type scenario. Like,
yeah, we're an instant culture right now, so.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that too. Like attention spans have definitely shrunk.
Yeah.
So like for artists the last 6 months, is that not like today's like year or whatever?
Yeah.
or yesterday's year?
But I mean, I don't know. It's interesting to see, because I would hope, and again, just for these people's longevity and being able to work for years, I would love to see more of a Art Adams scenario, or even a Neil Adams scenario, where it's like you're consistently putting out work for years, and people get excited when you drop a new cover. I mean, like,
well, I mean,
but there was only one cover back then. It was it. You had the cover. You had a run.
Yeah, I mean, but you could say that was the same thing happened kind of to Scotty Young over the years. That like when he was, he was doing his baby covers, like no one cared except for a cult following or whatever. And now it's like kind of like you can't run a store without having those covers.
Yeah.
Reef, the Sea Forever asked the question of who are artists that you love, but their recent artwork is trash. The only one who comes to mind in particular, I hate to say it, is Frank Miller.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
I mean, but seriously though, like Frank Miller's, because again, I mean, I was born in '85, so Frank Miller's Wolverine miniseries was one of the first. Like that was one of the first expensive comics I ever bought at like 15, 16 years old. Like first real job, ordered some copies online, ordered the miniseries from this eBay retailer up in Canada. But that was one of the first expensive comics I ever bought. And that was like that portrayal of Wolverine, that image of him with the, with the finger and the claws showing, it was like that was just gorgeous. And I mean, also, The Dark Knight Returns and Batman, year one, 404 to 408, like, and to see where he went is actually I'm 38. Somebody said in the comments I'm 39 now. I just turned 38. Yeah, so it makes me sad to see like him not put forth the effort and
I don't
release
know
this
if it's
terrible
as much
artwork.
effort or is it like just age. He's not young.
He's not that old either. He got sick, is what happened.
Yeah, but I mean, Neil at the end wasn't as good either.
I mean, Neil was still putting out some bangers. I mean, like
Yeah,
Neil's
because like he did like
But he wasn't as crisp.
true, but his
Yeah.
his wedding hit like the set of images he did for the wedding, for the Bat wedding, were gorgeous. Like honestly, if they weren't on metal covers, I would have bought all them shits. Like they were gorgeous, and
Well, I mean, he was also like I feel like Neil was also trying to adapt to the times too, right?
Yeah.
Like he was probably using like Photoshop and or whatever, like some sort of program where he's drawing it on there with a pen on some sort of pad. I would assume.
I give him a little, little pass for age, and probably they were asking too much of him too, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but you have someone like Frank Miller that's doing his own like publication thing too now at this point.
Yeah. I also don't think his style is current. I think that's part of it, is like his idea of what's in style is not what is in style.
Well, so that's what they're doing now. Is like they're having him start the drawings or whatever, and then they're getting current artists to finish the drawings for him.
Yeah.
well, also too, again, I think we keep forgetting that Frank Miller got sick. He is not as old as you think he is.
No.
Oh,
Like,
really?
Like Neil Adams died at 80. Frank
No,
Miller
but
is
Frank
67
Miller-
years old. Frank Miller's 67.
Yeah, but he does not look 67. He looks
Yeah,
80.
because he got
seven.
he got
Yeah.
sick. I think he had a battle with cancer, and he never bounced back. So maybe that is affecting his ability to produce artwork. I mean, maybe that is the case.
Well, it was like Perez was going blind at the end, I don't know. I don't want to hold that against it. I think, the better question is who's somebody that was hot 5-10 years ago that is irrelevant now because their just style is, I don't know, they oversaturated
dated.
what they were going to do.
Well, that they just stopped putting forth the effort. I mean, I don't know who that really is at this point. I mean, who really
sometimes Art Germ to me feels like he's phoning it in.
Stephanie Hans.
Yes, okay, I'll give you that one.
Like,
I mean,
but that's someone that was like super hot, and then like, I mean, I'm not saying that she won't have a hot cover every so often or whatever. It's just most of the work nowadays is just kind of like meh.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong on that one. I mean, I was never the biggest Stephanie Hahn fan. I mean, like she really didn't pop up on my radar until Die, to be real about it.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason why I found out about her was I ended up with one of her early hot books a long time ago in the mystery pack. If I'm gonna be completely honest, I didn't go out and buy it.
All right, if I'm choosing, thinking about it this way, Art Germ, Campbell, Hughes at least doesn't do the same thing every time. Campbell's all are very similar. Art Germs are all very similar.
I like the directions that Hughes is going in currently.
I was like, what do you mean by that? Because Hughes seems to be just kind of like selling into being like, I can just kind of do my like big boob chick thing. Like, I mean, I feel like he and Frank Cho are just basically two sides of the same coin.
I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying every Art Germ I look at looks the same. Campbell has a lot of similar things in his.
I don't know. I say Campbell's actually the one for me where he kind of like is phoning it in because he's got like 4 faces at this point now.
He does.
Oh, you mean his template book that he keeps on using and everyone in the same positions?
I mean, he's got his wife face, he's got his Taylor Swift face, and then there's like 2 more, and if he's got to draw a black girl, then that one. Like he has 4 faces. Like he's got his brunette, his blonde, his redhead, and then his black girl, and that's it. Yeah. That is all he's got at this point.
Oh goodness, that went a path I wasn't expecting.
I mean, it's just the truth. I mean, like, look at it seriously. Like, if you start looking at him, it's like it's like he has 4 faces of women at this point that he draws, and if he has to draw more than 4 women on the page, you're just like, okay, now we're just playing like miss and match with the facial features.
Somebody better have a mask.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh shit. Well, this one's got a mustache now because I'm running out of I'm running out of shit to throw on these bitches now at this point.
Okay.
Or he'll just throw on like cheapy characters on the side to appeal to the Asian crowd, right?
Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
All right. This is a book I didn't think I should have bought, but man,
God damn it, I should have bought this book.
Like, what was it? It was either 400 or 600 to get the damn book.
It was 5 brand new. It was 5 brand new.
Yeah, it was $500 brand new. I remember that. With the
and I was like, oh, that seems like a lot. God damn it. No. Now we all look at it and go, God, I think my brother wanted to do it. I wanted to do it. And we're all like, nah.
Yeah, I kept seeing him.
Crazy.
I was just like, Schwarzenegger's not going to be here forever. And like, this is the price for Schwarzenegger still being alive. Like, not to be morbid, but like, let's be real about it. Like, we just lost Carl Weathers. Like, you know, these heroes are on borrowed time, and what's going to happen to a Conan cover signed Schwarzenegger book when Schwarzenegger's no longer with us?
Oh.
The only thing that killed me about this book that wasn't this a store variant or whatever.
It was just it was something with that event. I don't even remember. It was like released with that event.
Oh, okay.
But man, that's one I was like, man, how high is it going to go? I don't know. And it got to 6, and it got to 7. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm an idiot.
Well, because when people were getting them back, I'm assuming a lot of people were selling right away.
Yeah, and they were making a little quick profit.
Oh, okay.
And I kept thinking, oh, it's going to dip. It never dipped. It just keeps going up because, again, getting in like 80s children collector hands, and then it's done.
Yeah.
It's one of those like somebody bought that with a purpose type thing. Like fanboys bought it once the flippers flipped, you know.
So now it's collectors buying it because there's probably not a lot on the market, right?
I think that is what happened, and we all didn't realize how much we probably wanted it.
Yeah. And no, this isn't the store variant. This is just the photo cover. Like this is
okay.
the Marvel photo cover.
Nice.
It was just out at the time. Man, that's a great book. Jesus.
Yeah,
okay, maybe it was just like a store that had a bunch of them or whatever, and they were doing a signing with Arnold.
I think it was a CGC event, wasn't it?
No, it was like a store.
It was a third party. You're right. It was a third party something.
Yeah, I want to say a store was involved, and Arnold was doing the contour thing, like where he was in a con at San Antonio, I want to say, and then he was probably at a con like out in Cali.
God.
And I'm probably missing a con or two here or there, but
I thought it was a private signing event somewhere, but
I remember him showing up to the convention somewhere or whatever.
Well, he might have, but like there was a private signing for like 300 spots or something.
I mean, you could just buy these. I do remember, like, I got an email about this because I remember this was during the time before I was a part of this whole thing, and I remember them talking about it on maybe Unpressable, or this might have been when because I remember Leg in particular. I sent it to him, and they talked about it on one of the shows that Leg was on before he came back to Flipside.
Yeah,
but it was like a $500 book then. I was like, man, and it was the debate. Shit, I think we might have talked about this on Dealer Flipside, for all I remember, when this book came back around again. Yeah, it was still like a $500 book at that point. It was like, would you buy this for $500 or $600? I was like, well, how much was this fucking signature like normally?
Yeah, it doesn't happen. I think it's the issue. He doesn't do the con circuit. He doesn't need that much money.
Yeah, because why would he need to?
It's like Robert Downey. He signs once in a great while.
And then he held public office on top of that too, as well. So I'm sure there's all kinds of like crazy security for that, right?
I don't know.
I mean, do governors have that kind of thing, like the president?
Not really.
Okay, yeah. I wasn't sure if that.
Well, it's California. Who knows what you guys pay for out there?
Yeah, I mean, nobody's running around chasing down Jesse Ventura. So
it's true.
Because he's respected, and he did.
He lives in Mexico, I think. The last I heard.
Does he?
He's a nut, but yes.
Oh, because he's on the Joe Rogan podcast now, right?
Yeah, occasionally, I think. But yeah, so I mean, I guess the lesson to be learned from this is like when this type of scenario pops up again. I think also I do remember Leg bitching about this being like it's not him from this image isn't from Conan. It's not from Conan the Barbarian. It's from Conan the Destroyer, I believe.
Yeah, it is. It's a good image though.
Yeah.
It's not the one. It's not my favorite, but it's a good one.
Yeah.
All right. Only because Umbrella Academy is starting to churn out some early previews and stuff. I saw this. This used to be a $1,000 to $1,500 book. Apparently, the spec and heat is done. Still a pretty solid read, a pretty solid show. Hopefully, they can end on a strong note.
Oh dang, and that's even with Sparkle City too.
Yeah, I just think I think the spec is dead.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah. I mean,
yeah.
It probably died after the second season.
What are you gonna do? It's some of those things like it's not going to be an evergreen property.
Yeah.
So, speaking of Hughes, one of his more famous early covers, the Penthouse Comics #3 with the swastika and burning image. There are 6 9/8 of this, surprisingly. We discussed how I didn't think it was going to be quite as common as that, and Yeezy thought that I was crazy, but this was not sold to traditional collectors, in my opinion, especially in '94.
Yeah. Then we thought about it a little, or I thought about it a little bit longer.
Yeah, there's other variables in this equation than a traditional comic, but it is a pretty spicy image. Decent price at $700. I don't think that's a crazy number, honestly, for a rare 9/8 Hughes book before he was phoning it in. I put this in because I didn't actually know this existed. It's a Diamond Retailer pre-signed book with Turner. So it's kind of cool. I mean, this is a beat copy, actually. There's a corner like crunched on it pretty good for $175, but to get a verified Turner SIG is pretty tough.
Yeah, sure.
I think that's a pretty cool book that I would maybe put on my watch list.
Yeah, I have a random raw signed Turner signature.
I have one that ended up being his first artwork, but
nice.
I can't remember what it is. It's like God, I can't even think about it. I'd have to dig it out.
I want to say mine is a Fathom cover, but I don't know which one specifically.
Nice.
Yeah,
mine was like his first interior art or something. It was a random, but I don't even know how I got it. One of those random search happened to hit it. Yeah. This was a neat one, and I don't listen. There are at least 8 printings of this book, and I have no knowledge of which one it is. So there's that, but I do like the Japanese ones with the obi, which is that little strip that they have with it that can come off, and a lot of times you find it without that obi.
I'm trying to remember what color Josh told me the first print is.
I don't think this is the first, but I think that's a pretty good price for a 9/8.
Yeah, yeah, I would say that's especially since like CGC is notorious for throwing out the obi.
Yes, and because a 9/8 original's not as cheap as it used to be. So, and of the ones out there, I like this international edition just because the OB is cool.
Yeah, and you gotta love that like '90s like headshot of McFarlane on the cover. It's just like because I know Josh's his copy is signed on the OB.
Nice.
Yeah.
This book continues to sell very well. Crime Suspense Stories 22. One of the most iconic images, $7,000 for 5.0. It slowly just trudges up, ever up. Iconic, nice.
Yeah, I have a sign for
it. Venom Lethal Protector, the black variant, 9/8, sold for $4,500.
Lowest since 2018.
Good job. Yes, 2018 was the high water mark at 9,600. Several sales last year, but no, 2 sales last year between 6,300 and 7,800. there are 78 9/8 of this. So,
And I think it's like what 200 and something total graded.
yeah, something about there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's rare, but not that rare. The white edition only has 198 and 196. So that's the one we'd like to see. There are 2 10s of the black one too.
Oh, there's 2 10s. Wow. Didn't know
One
that.
of them sold it was either 12 or 14 for 4K. So they'd still probably be okay on that one. This book, quote, first Peanuts appearance is down quite a bit. You used to not be able to get a copy of this for under $1,000 when it was hot and bothered. Batman. I thought this was going to be a high sale of the 121. We're hitting rare air of this book as far as grade, but actually there have been 3 sales between 2018 and 2023 where 15K is the average. So it's actually down 12%. So,
I mean, it hasn't taken a plunge like some of these other books. So.
no. I mean, this is a safe book.
Yeah.
I think it's probably more just current financial market than anything else, but at least it's safe money. You're not getting your ass kicked on it.
Yeah, sure.
I know someone that might be working out a trade for a Batman 1.
Oh. You know cooler people than I do. Another cool retailer incentive, the G.I. Joe Cobra number 19. This one pops up every once in a while. Sorry, I can barely read it. It was about $8.50 for a raw. That's a hell of a price for a G.I. Joe book. So, goddamn. And then the last one of the night, Famous Funnies. I would rate this as maybe the 3rd or 4th best cover of the run, but sold for good money for a very good complete. Almost 4K. I know I sold mine kind of in the COVID spike, maybe 2021. I think I got near 3K, maybe not quite. Mine was graded, so it's still, Frazetta is still gaining steam on some of these iconic covers. So Golden Age is not dead.
That is nuts.
All right, what kind of pickups anybody got this week?
I've got 2 random ones. So one a Razzie. So
Oh, nice. You won that?
yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah,
I was going to enter into that Raz. Did you win that with 1 spot?
I did.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like kind of glad. I was like I'm glad I didn't enter that Raz, and I'm glad that someone I know won.
Nice.
Yeah, and then the other thing, I don't know. Like I was having a conversation with my girl and one of my friends about like that period when Paradox Press was like, I mean, they basically had 2 of their books end up being turned into movies, and I never got around to reading A History of Violence or Road to Perdition.
Oh, okay.
And so I went out there and found a near mint unread copy of first printing of A History of Violence. So
Cool.
I'm gonna crack into it. But yeah, it was reasonable money on my comic book shop, and I was like, you know what? It'd be nice little something to throw on the shelf and to have an original, because I can't stand it once the movie comes out and they reprint it and they've got all of the like now a major motion picture blah 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 bullshit all over the cover. So I definitely went out there to find the first printing before that was all added to the cover.
Nice.
Yeah, that's it for me.
All right, Yeezy.
All right. So I went to a card show. I picked up a few cards. So Tyler Hero, optic refractor rookie for $10. I thought this shop was funny because these like one touches, they cost like $4 a piece for them. So for them just to include that too with your purchase, it was just kind of funny. And then Tyrese Halliburton rookie courtside, same shop. Yeah, I was like,
you paid $6 for the card and got the case for $4.
So the case is like, so I mean, yeah. If you think of it that way, right? Each card was like $6 a piece, which is not bad at all. Like considering that they already came, and these are,
it's like when you get a random top loader, you're like, sweet.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Pick up baseball prospects, especially even if they're hurt, but he's young. So Drew Jones.
Okay.
His Bowman first. He was like the number 1 draft pick. I don't remember when. I always pick up Jordan autographs, especially when you can buy them like less than sticker price. So, especially being in Houston, right? I'm gonna root for the home team. And if anyone watches soccer, Eric Holland. This is his Sapphire rookie card.
Nice.
I did not pay sticker price either. I'll say
nice work.
Yeah. So I'm sure he'll
grab.
Yeah, exactly. And then you gotta take the private jet to like pick up books from MegaCon. So no, I'm just joking. Big Clutch sent me a copy, so I'm super stoked about this. The spot foil Transformers 3rd print. And I went to a small con and I found the Ghost book, which I was super stoked about. I was not impressed by what they had on the walls at the con. There was only like 3 or 4 places that had comics, but this is the last booth I went to. They had this incredibly rare Art Germ Fly number 1 and a CGC 98 blue label. I definitely knew it because of Longshort. I think we talked about it when we were on Modern Playbook.
We definitely did.
Okay.
So was it on the wall or in a box?
It was in a box. In a box. And I brought books to trade. So I was seeing if he would trade. And the guy was, no, I can't trade. And I was like, I guess I kind of understood since like the con wasn't really like comic centric, I guess. And it was
probably wasn't making no money.
Yeah, so he probably just needed to cover the table or whatever, even though he's like a major sponsor for the con. So I was like, kind of like, I get it. He needs to make his money too. So the sticker price he had on it was a already attractive price, but he knocked off 20% off of that just to make the cash deal or whatever. But I ended up paying with credit card, and so I had to pay tax. But it was still a very, very reasonable price.
Yeah, for a book you will never see.
Yeah, like I've never seen that in the wild. There's only 2. Like I scanned the QR afterwards, and I found out that there's only 2 9/8 total on the census. 17 total graded with signature series. I think there's 7 blue labels total.
Yeah, so somebody would, list that for an arm and a leg on eBay.
That's my plan. Yeah, my plan is to list it for like at least 1K. So
yeah, see where it lands.
Yeah, because I mean, like honestly, I don't mind having it in my collection, but at the same time, I know there's plenty of Art Germ fans.
Some crazy Art Germ fan that has been drooling for it.
That's dying for it because I'm sure that guy never listed it on eBay, which seems like a giant mistake in my opinion. But,
absolutely.
Yeah.
People are not as deep in the weeds,
But he knew it was a rare book, which is the crazy part. Like he knew it was a rare book and he was familiar with that, but I guess he just didn't know, like, as Dennis would say, right? It's so rare, it's worthless.
Yeah. And also, I mean, if he doesn't do eBay as a regular thing, then
I mean, he has 3 stores that he's running, so it probably floated at each of those stores, is my assumption.
And if nobody's buying it because it's so rare that nobody's looking.
Yeah, exactly. And then I just happened to I think he had a rare J. Scott Campbell cover. But I'm gonna probably have to go by one of his shop locations to see if
see what else is hiding.
See what else is hiding in there because because I know one of his locations he has a slab room, but I'm gonna give it a month or 2 because I think he's gonna reprice everything because he thinks he's high on everything. And some stuff he is high on, other stuff is kind of if you came down a little bit more, I would buy it.
Well, or you hit him before he looks and sees, oh, this is way underpriced.
Yeah, that's true.
You never know.
Yeah,
there'll be a few that move up and a few that move down.
Yeah.
All right. I don't have anything. I'm still behaving, not making any purchases. I'm lame.
I wasn't going to, and then I ended up with one of those rare book opportunities you just don't pass up on.
No, you got to take it. There's been some books that I think about, some that I've put bids in. I've lost some things, but there's nothing that's I got to go all in on.
Oh yeah, I mean, I definitely didn't go all in on the bet. I was kind of I can spare that much to buy this.
All right. I think that's it for this week. I don't know if Dino and Carter are doing a show tomorrow or not. Keep your eyes peeled. We will be back next week. I'm not even going to try the outro because it's worked so bad for me. So we will catch you all soon. Thanks for showing by.